hello. Yeah, I am your hostess with the mostest, Shy Rosalind. Welcome to the Eclectic Experience. This is kind of an extra episode. Um, and this one was a hard one to do in preparing it. Cause, and I'll explain in a little while. But welcome to the Eclectic Experience. Again, I am your hostess with the mostest, Shy Rosalind. Please like, subscribe if you're so inclined, share with a friend or two or three. Likes are free and always appreciated. Comments are always welcome, whether now or in the replay. So go ahead and leave a comment. You can find me on Instagram. You can find me on Facebook under Shy Rosalind. On Instagram, I am Shy Rosalind NDB, standing for NDB Media, where I got my start. So, there's a lot going on in these YouTube streets, and I think one of the biggest topics that have been floating around for at least the past 2 years now is this men versus women thing, this sort of new dating thing, this manosphere thing, red pill, blue pill, purple pill, black pill. I mean, come on now. Let's just open a bag of jelly beans and call it a day. Skittles, anyone? I mean, really. I used to laugh at this stuff, but I'm seeing so much. I mean, this could be a rabbit hole thing. You start watching 1 or 2 videos of a certain topic, and the good old YouTube algorithm starts kicking in more and more and more, thinking that's what you're interested in, when you're really not. You're just curious. And so that could be the case. That could be the rabbit hole. Or it could be this is what makes money on YouTube. People talking about women being worthless and making mistakes and not knowing how to treat a man and not remembering how to be a lady and all this stuff. And it's always the women's fault. The women don't know what they're doing anymore, and the women are worthless because they're single mothers. And, women who need help and happen to be on some kind of assistance made the wrong choices, and they just should have just shut up and got married to the first guy that came along, popped out some babies, and put up with him for 30-something years. I'm not bitter. I'm just confused. So, and it makes money. Let's face it. There are a lot of videos from not just, black folk, white folk too, talking about the same stuff, spitting out these same talking points over and over and over again. And people are, super chatting and paying money and sending cash apps and whatnot. So there's money to be made in what I call bashing women, because basically that's what it is. I mean, they're content creators with hundreds of thousands of subscribers, and they're obviously making money, and they pretty much say the same thing over and over again. So, yeah, this is not an easy one for me to do, because some of the stuff I'm hearing and some of the stuff that's being said out there, it just makes me go, I'm so glad that I have taken myself off the market. Because if this is a true reflection of what's going on outside of this YouTube space, if men are really starting to act like the way these guys are talking here on YouTube, then we've got a problem. And I'm glad that I will not date. I made a comment on DL Saint's podcast, which you guys really need to check out. DL Saint, I really want to know. He's probably, I call him the safest manosphere red pill. I don't want to say creator, but he's the safest one in discussing this red pill, purple pill crap. And I say he's the safest one because A, he's respectful. Even if you disagree, he's respectful. He's willing to listen. He doesn't completely dismiss a woman's opinion like some of them do. And that's why I call him the safest one. I've checked out other channels. I'm not going to mention their names because I don't want to generate any attention to them. But some of these guys, I don't get it. It's disgusting. But anyhow, the reason I'm really doing this episode is because and again, it was DL Saint did a reaction to a clip from this this video, and I'm not going to say their names. I'm just going to show, and I'm not going to play the video either. I am not doing clips. I'm just going to speak on what I saw. But this was the video. Oh, let me hold on. I'm going to scroll it down so you can see the full title. There you go. That should do it. Okay, so this is the title. That's the channel. As I said, I'm not going to say them out loud. You know, some of y'all who follow me know who Voldemort is. And I'm going to call this content creator, well, there's two of them, so I am going to call them Jekyll and Hyde. So anyway, this is the video that DL showed the clip of. And like I said, I'm not going to run any clips from this particular video. If you are interested, that's the video. That's the content creator. You can go look it up and you can watch for yourself. I watched it yesterday, pretty much beginning to almost the end. And after I finished with it, my stomach hurt. I have never seen a more arrogant, condescending, stick up the ass host as Jekyll. And I think Jekyll is, well, I have to say their name so you know who I'm talking about. Myron, I believe, is the gentleman on the left of the screen. He is the one that asks most of the questions and makes most of the condescending, arrogant, stick up the ass, stuck up, miserable comments that I have heard in a long time. I think there's only one content creator that in my opinion is more disgusting than him, and I don't even want to say his name either. Voldemort is one of them, and there's another one out there. He first name Dennis. Y'all can figure out who it is. He is also just as disgusting, if not more. But anyhow, like I said, that's the video. Y'all can look at it and watch it for yourself. Now, some of you guys are going to say that they were speaking the truth. Some of you guys are going to say, well, you know, these younger women don't know what they're talking about. They should be married already, and they should know how to act if they really want a man. Who the heck knew what they were doing when they were in their 20s? When you're in your 20s, you are not fully developed. Period. I don't care. You're not. You're not biologically fully developed. You're not. The human brain doesn't truly hit what would be considered full development until you're probably 25. So to tell a woman that when she's 18 to 24, she better hurry up and find somebody, because you have to hurry up and find somebody and get married and pop out babies, because once you hit 27 to 30, it's too late. This guy, Jekyll, made a comment to there's one young lady on the panel who was in her 30s, and he said, "Oh, your eggs are dried up." I think ugh. Okay, guys, I have to step away for a moment. I will be right back. um I'm back, y'all. Caregiving is not for punks. My mother got up and I had to get her to the bathroom and get her back into the bed. So I'll edit out that pause, that long pause. But you guys are watching the Eclectic Experience. I am your hostess with the mostest, Shy Rosalind. And we're talking about this whole women versus men and this whole red pill, purple pill, blue pill, whatever you kind of call it pill. Like I said, let's just open a bag of Skittles and call it a day. This particular video irked the heck out of me, as I was saying, Jekyll. And I guess it was his version of a joke. There's one young lady that was on the panel who was 33, I think she said, and he said, "Oh yeah, your eggs are dried up." I mean, really? And you say crap like this, and then you wonder why women turn on you. You wonder why women just look at you. And there's one part of the video I did have to chuckle, because there was one part of the video where Jekyll was going off and the women just all looked at him as if he had 3 heads. And I said to myself, thank God they at least did that. You're supposed to sit there and take that crap and then say, yeah, I guess we're wrong. I guess we're not doing things right. Oh my God. Anyway. But there was one section of the video regarding this gentleman named Charleston White. I've never heard of him until recently. I'm not sure if he's a comedian or what he does. I don't know. I will research him a little bit more after, but he was a guest on the panel, and he was talking to the young ladies about dating and whatnot. And he said a few things. Let me see if I can pull up the transcript, because I just want to make sure I get what he said right. I might not be able to oh shoot, I didn't mean to stop that part, but I might not be able to share let me see if I can share the screen, because I want to oh yes, there's a transcript. Okay. Let's see if it'll let me. Yes, there we go. Yay, I can share the transcript. Awesome. So he said a few things. There was the young ladies on the panel were basically questioning and making statements. Oh wait, let me go to my highlighted part, because that's the part I really want to get into. They're basically saying that the difference between them and other women before their generation, they're basically saying that women had no choice but to stay in their marriages, because they needed that income that the man was bringing in, because they weren't allowed to really work for themselves. They couldn't have their own credit cards. They couldn't have their own credit. And Charleston, he made some comments that he says, listen, the women, let me see if I can, let me pull up the quote. Let me just read it off the give me 1 second. I just want to find what he was talking about. Because that's where okay. Oh, there was just one. I should have highlighted it. Sorry, guys. Let's see. No, that's him asking these girls when they wanted to get married. And I'll get back to that in a minute because he said something to one of the young ladies that pissed me off. Um, okay, here we go. Uh, basically, huh. Where he made the comment. I'm gonna have to paraphrase because I thought I highlighted the exact words, but he basically said that the women that these young ladies on the panel were referring to were women from the 60s, early 70s. So it would be their grandmothers. Um, Historically, he is correct. Women in the 60s were not allowed to have their own credit cards. It had to be under the husband's name. Sometimes they couldn't buy a house without their husband. Sometimes they couldn't make large purchases without their husband's quote unquote approval. So historically, he that part he is correct. The part that there's two parts to what he said that disturbs me. He said, and I'm paraphrasing again, the transcript is available as well. Like I said, y'all can go watch the video. To paraphrase, he said, Charleston White said that, in essence, women of the 80s and the 90s didn't need a man because they had welfare, Section 8, and food stamps. So since they were getting those things, they really didn't need a man. So there is the historical theory that the government was trying to break up Black families by introducing these things and making the stipulation that in order to collect welfare and or food stamps and or Section 8, that the man or the husband could not be in the home. So that on the historical side, yeah, it was a setup. However, nobody that I grew up knowing, and I'm a tail end baby boomer. I'm one of the last of the baby boomer generation. I was born that particular year. So most of my growing up was in the late 60s, 70s, 80s, so on and so forth. No one that we knew was proud to have Section 8 or welfare or food stamps. Nobody wanted to admit they were getting it. I mean, if you went into back then, you went into the grocery store and you had to pull out that little booklet with that Monopoly money in it and pay the cashier and get back change. Nobody wanted to pull out that booklet and pay the cashier and get back change. Nobody wanted to use the food stamps. You go into the store and start to pull out that booklet of Monopoly money, and you just saw your neighbor looking at you. You kind of just reached into your wallet instead and prayed you had enough cash to cover it. Nobody wanted to use those food stamp booklets. And welfare. See, these manosphere guys make it sound like welfare. They were handing out welfare like they were handing out free jelly beans. Let me tell you something. All the hoops you have to jump through to get welfare. To this day, you got to jump through hoops to get it. And if I understand correctly, as of now, there's a time limit. You can only collect it for a certain number of years, and that's it. At least I know in New Jersey, there's a limit. I'm not sure about the rest of the country, but there is a limit. When I lived in New Jersey, it was a 5-year limit. You can only collect welfare for 5 years. You were expected to get a job and get off the welfare. There are so many programs out there to get people off welfare because welfare isn't worth anything. Nobody, when I was growing up, nobody wanted to admit they were on it. Nobody. And the hoops you had to jump through, birth certificates, you had to show divorce papers. Sometimes the welfare people used to come to your house and see how you were living. No, they want to know all your business, any kind of checking account, any kind of bank account. They wanted to see with the 3 most recent bank statements. Nobody wanted to. What? And these people make it sound like they were handing it out like it was candy. No. No. No, my dear. These manosphere guys, these red pill guys, they got it all but backward. There was no pride in receiving welfare. There's no pride in getting Section 8. There's no pride in food stamps. The only reason people get still try and get food stamps because now you just swipe your card, and put in your PIN number like it's a bank card. And men can get it, obviously men get food stamps just as much as women do. So that's one thing that irked me. The other thing that irked me, and let me find it on the I think I highlighted it on the transcript. Okay, here we go. The other thing that Charleston White discussed that irked me, and I'm going to read from the transcript. He was just one, like I said, one of the young ladies was talking about how, back in the day, women you were literally stuck in a marriage. Even if you were being mistreated and cheated on, you had no choice but to stay in the marriage because you couldn't do anything for yourself, especially if you had kids. And this man, this man had the nerve to say, and I'm going to read it. Let me make sure I'm reading his words, because there was some back and forth. Okay, this is not him. I think this is Jekyll. Okay, this is Charleston White. And Jekyll's going back and forth with one of the young ladies. He interrupts and he said, even if granddad was a whoremonger, grandmother still wanted to be a classy lady, right? She just because her man was a dog that slept with everybody, she didn't want to compete with that just because he's a dog, right? I'm not saying to go and do the same thing that he's doing. I'm saying you literally said that a second ago. He's responding to a young lady. No, that's a young lady speaking. Let me go to where he said it. Okay. And I believe these are his words. Yes. Let me scroll up just a little bit. Okay. And he says, no matter what her man does, she still was going to maintain the qualities and the dignity of a woman. Even if she got hurt, even if she got cheated on, she never wanted to stoop low. How low? Today's women want, and he's saying that today's women want to go as low as the guy. If the guys are cheaters, she wants to become a cheater. I say it's useless to even go and try and cheat on somebody that's already cheated on you. Then you're entertaining a relationship where it's toxic. Now, that was one of the young ladies who said that. And she has a point. And then Charleston White says, here's the thing. So the woman before you never wanted to get her lick back. Oh, revenge. Her grace came from just being a woman, even if she never cheated. Her revenge was um and I guess someone interrupted him and said breaking up, and well, he continues, she never wanted revenge because most stayed, and her revenge was that she kept loving him, and her love would shame him when he got sick. She would still take care of him, and he would be miserable knowing he'd done all this wrong to this woman, and she's still wiping his butt. That's where the punishment came from. And then someone tries to interject, and he says, listen, she stayed because she took a vow to stay. That says for better, for worse. Yeah, she took she took the Bible for, I guess he was trying to say she took her wedding vows. She took the vow before her mother, her father, and all these people that was in the church. It wasn't about what he did. It was about her maintaining her. But back then she was more awesome. And I think at this point he's going back and forth with one of the young ladies who's saying, financially she had no choice, which is true. And then he says, okay. And it was about her maintaining, but back then she was more awesome. This is Charleston White again. Most women, because and there's a back and forth. When you watch the video, you'll see some of the young ladies are interjecting. His words, he broke her vows. She still maintained, he should have said he broke his vows. She still maintained hers. It wasn't about that he was still taken care of, because most men came home and gave the woman all the money that he kept. He kept enough to drink and cheat with, and gave her the money so she could pay the bills. Okay. This is when I start to have an issue. You both took vows. Both of them. Husband and the wife. They both took vows. It wasn't just on her. She's keeping up her end of it. And he goes out and acts like a tomcat in the neighborhood. And just because he brings her more money, yeah, you can go ahead and pay the bills and buy the groceries. Maybe he buys her a car. You're still not keeping up your end of the bargain if you're running around the neighborhood being a tomcat. You're not. Sorry. So she is supposed to put up with you for 20, 30 something years. And you're going to keep being a tomcat till you can't do it no more. Because it's men's nature. We can't help it. That was the whole theory that they presented in this video. Men can't help it. We that's how we are. We've always had concubines. We've always had more than one woman. And you really can't control yourself. You really can't. You really just have no self-control. You are going to go out and be a tomcat, and just because you're paying for the groceries and you're paying for the lights, you're not keeping up your side of the vows, my dear. You're not. And these women that put up in grandma and grandpa's time in the 60s and the 70s, that put up with all of that stuff, is because they had no choice. And once women started earning some money and being able to protect themselves, now all of a sudden, oh, you're modern women, you're not worthy of us anymore because we're not impressed with what you've done. We're not impressed with your achievements. So what that you went to college? Big deal. Can you give me babies? That's basically what they're saying. That ticks me off. I was pretty much speechless at this point in the conversation. I'm trying to find revenge. Yeah, her revenge, her because she wanted to stay classy. That doesn't mean the man's breaking his vows. She was probably holding it together because there were kids in the house, and that's probably the only reason. I mean, even from my own life experience, and like I said, most of my childhood was 70s. I was in high school in the 80s, so mostly the 70s were most of my childhood. And how do I say this? Because I don't want to put all my family business in the street. But my parents, my father did my mother wrong one time too many. And she said, I'm done. And he said, okay. He knew he was wrong. And they divorced. And my mother took on a house and 2 kids by herself. Never remarried, because in her words, it wasn't worth it. Why take that chance? Her mindset was no. Why should I bring another man in here and take that chance? Maybe he'll treat us right. Maybe he won't. She's like, no. I'll manage. And we did. And that's not to say that I did not have a good relationship with my father. She never kept us from him. So it was what they would call nowadays, they would call an amicable divorce. But he did her wrong. He didn't keep up his side of the vows. She kept hers. He didn't keep his. And why should she sit there and suffer for 20, 30 years? Charleston White is making it sound like, oh, she's sacrificing herself because she wants to stay classy and she wants to, maintain her vows. She's this is how a woman should be. No, a woman should not have to put up with a person mistreating her for 20, 30 years just to keep up appearances. And that's when women started, once women started realizing that, it's like, wait a minute, why should I? That's not fair. It's not right. And then it's not natural. It's just not. So that ticked me off. And the fact that flash forward now, it's 2023 and these men, and let me just make sure there's anything else I wanted to read off the transcript. And they kept going about a woman's values come from her family, not a job. I'm like, it just goes back to sit down, shut up, pop out the babies, clean, cook, feed the kids, and I'm gonna do what I made a vow to you, but I can't help myself. I'm just gonna go and be a tomcat in the street. And this is how it is. This is how it is. This is nature. And you're just gonna have to put up with me for 20, 30 years until the kids are out of the house. No. And these guys are espousing this stuff to these younger guys And then they wonder why these younger women are looking at them like they stupid. And they end up not wanting to be bothered. And I made a comment on DL's his episode, and I said, because he showed us the clip, and it was just like, I said, if I were in my 20s now, having this stuff out there, would I even bother to date? Knowing that most likely the guy, and I'm not even going to discuss high value and all that foolishness. I'm not even going to get into it, because most of us average women who are out there just, keeping the bills paid, trying to have some kind of a life and enjoy ourselves a little bit, and learn about ourselves and get ourselves right. Most of us will not end up with, wouldn't even think of pursuing a high value man, because we know either we don't know any. Most of the guys that average women are with are average men. So, the sanitation guy, the cop, well, I wouldn't recommend anyone date a cop, but never mind. That's a discussion for another day. The sanitation guy, the plumber, the electrician, the construction dude, the guy that's the manager at the restaurant down the street, the dude that owns the bodega on the block. Those are the men that we're around. The TA guys, the bus drivers, the subway conductors. Those are the men that we end up with. Come on now, let's just be honest. They are the ones that are the average women, and you most likely end up with average guys. Period. Nobody who's an administrative assistant working in Manhattan, commuting back and forth every day, you ain't gonna meet no high value man on the subway. You're not. That kind of high value man has a driver. Okay, you're gonna meet the subway conductor. You're gonna meet the sales rep for a car dealership. That's what us average women are going. That's the type of man we're going to meet. We know, like I said, we're not even going to pursue these supposed high value men. We're not. We're just not. So take that out of the equation. So here you have these men, and it's not just Jekyll and Hyde, and it's Voldemort, and I have to think of a name for the other ones out here telling men that you should leave the country to find someone submissive, that especially black women, telling that black women are pretty much evil, and that we don't know what we want. We don't know what we want because y'all acting so stupid. There's no way to figure it out. Average women want a man who is decent, who actually gives a crap about our well-being. And if we work as a team to successfully maintain a household, and basically be, as these guys now put it, be my peace. Well, you need to be my peace too. I'm not going to put up with you for 20 or 30 years because you feel like tomcatting around. It's not right. Are there average women out there who act a fool? Yes. Yes, they are. They are. You ever see that show Bridezillas? Yeah, they're out there. But the men they are marrying would not be considered high value men. They're average guys, average girls marrying average guys, and all we want at the end of the day is just peace. That's it. You have my back, I have yours. Don't mistreat me, I won't mistreat you. That's it. It's so freaking simple. But that's not what's out there. What's being put out there is this: black women are evil. Black women are going to take you for all your worth. We're going to initiate the divorces. We're gonna be the ones to take your money or take half of everything and keep the kids, and we're not gonna let you near our kids. Listen, if you mistreat us, we're not gonna let you near the kids. Because what's the chances that you're going to mistreat them? First of all. So there's that. Now, are there women out there who are working the system? Absolutely. Should there be a DNA test at when the baby's born to make sure that the man who's supposedly the father is the father? Absolutely. The laws, if you feel that the laws for child support and all that are unfair, and sometimes they are unfair, then guess what you need to do, y'all? Gentlemen, you need to go and vote for legislators who can change the law and make it more fair for you guys. That's what you guys need to do. You guys need to go out and get those laws changed. And you'll be surprised. There'll probably be a whole lot of women right behind you saying, yep, you're right. That's what you guys need to do. But you're not doing that. You all are going out and telling these younger men that you need to just get a passport and go overseas and find someone who's submissive. That's not the solution. It's not. It's not the solution. And ladies, let me tell you something. Do not rush. These guys are saying you're only fertile till you're 25. So if you're not married by you're 25, you're not worth it. You're not worth anything. That's bullcrap. You're not even biologically fully developed until you're 25. Do not rush as soon as you get out of high school and jump up and marry somebody. And if you do, you do. But for God's sake, at least get some college under your belt. Or get a trade. Get some college. Become a nurse. Do something. Travel. See the world before you settle down with somebody. Because let me tell you something. Not all of these guys, but some of these guys, once you settle down with them, they're not going to want you to do anything. You're going to be stuck. You want to go with your girlfriends and go on a tour, or go on a trip and go on a tour and maybe go to a foreign country, see how other people live. Your man or your husband is not going to want you to go, because they're afraid that you're going to have a hot girl summer behind their back. If you say to them that let's do a little traveling before we have kids, because once we have kids, we're not going to be able to do what some of the things we'd like to do. Let's do it now before we have children. No, that's it. I want kids. I want them now, and you're not getting any younger. That's the kind of stuff that these guys are putting out there, and it's disgusting. It's hurtful and it's disgusting. So that's why I said that's why I put the comment that I did. If I were in my 20s now, with this stuff that's being put out there, and if this stuff this pill stuff that's out there were truly like out in the real world, outside of this YouTube space, I would not bother with dating. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't date. I wouldn't date. I wouldn't do it. It's too intimidating. It's too disheartening to hear this stuff. And I just, no. I just wouldn't do it. My peace of mind is more important than settling with somebody just to say I'm fulfilling my mission as a woman by, take being this man's wife and popping out some kids. No. So anyhow, let me see. Was there anything else I wanted to? I think I ranted long enough, y'all. I had picked out some quotes, and I think I hit the quotes that I wanted to hit. Like I said, the video's there. Y'all can watch it for yourself. And then, somebody commented that Charleston White wasn't disrespectful, and he wasn't condescending. Just because the tone isn't there doesn't mean he's right. That's his experience. That's his theory. Charleston White and I are just about almost in the same generation. So some of it I do understand what he's talking about, but it's not all true. At least it's not my experience growing up in the 70s. It wasn't my experience. And I think the majority, well, I mean, it just wasn't my experience where I grew up and how I grew up. Some of the things he said that I quoted, I can't agree with, because that's not what I saw growing up. So anyhow, it was very disheartening to watch this video. I don't like the way the young ladies were spoken to at all. They were basically dismissed, and basically spoken to like a bad boss talking to his secretary. You don't know what you tell me. Oh, you're dried up. Your eggs are dried up. Yeah, it's too late for you. Really? I can't with these guys. I really can't. I'm gonna have to start staying away from this content because it's just too disheartening the way these men, and I put that in quotes, are discussing dating and how everything is the woman's fault. And women, once you're past 30, you're worthless. That's one of the things I really hate, because I am a woman of a certain age, and I certainly don't feel as though I'm worthless. But according to these guys, I might as well get a cat, curl up in the corner, and die. I mean, what happened to love, respect, and cherish, dude? I mean, where the hell did that go? And that's a woman's fault too, according to Jekyll and Hyde, because we just happen to want an education, and we just happen to want an education, and like something other than sitting in the house changing diapers all day, and oh, that's our fault too. Yeah, I'm gonna have to stay away from this particular type of content because it's very disheartening. It's very anti-woman. And I mean, not to say there's some women out there who have gone the other way and have been very derogatory towards men. I mean, they're out there. I saw one or two in traveling this particular YouTube street, and it yeah. Mm-mm. So anyhow, that's my rant. Thank you for joining me. And please like, subscribe, please comment, because I know this is, some heavy stuff. So please comment. Comments are always welcome. Likes are free, of course. And I will see you guys probably next week, because we're going to do beat and chat. We're going to do something happy. We're going to do some happy stuff on Saturday. And then going from there, I will figure out what the next eclectic experience will be. I haven't decided yet. I'll think about it. I might do some more healthcare stuff. So if you're into that, please let me know. And I can do something on that. There's some more research that came out, so I will take a look at that, and I will try and do an update on I Am Not My Hair. I haven't seen anything more about the lawsuit, so that might take some time, but I'll see if there's anything else out there. And then I can also do something. I'm thinking of doing another It Happened One Night. So another rabbit hole that I can explore and have some fun doing it. So that's the story, my dears. Thank you very much for joining me. Thank you for watching me in a replay. I know most of you are going to see this in a replay. And again, I apologize for the midstream pause. I will try and edit that out. And like I said, please like, subscribe, comment below. Likes are welcome, and likes are always free. I am your hostess with the mostest. I am Shy Rosalind. And thank you for joining me this afternoon, and I will see you guys on the next one.